everyone, Pete and Grada here from the Purple House in Tasmania. We're a wellness centre situated in the northwest of Tassie, and every Tuesday at 1 o'clock we do a little spiel on some health concerns, or we give you some really good tips that can turn your life around. Today we want to talk about a fictitious couple which we call Sally and Bill, right? Just to illustrate how little things can go wrong for people and really end up being disasters.
It's a follow on from the last couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, we're still talking about how you can protect your heart and arteries, and how you can have a long life and what not to do, of course. So we have to take a deep dive into all the things that people think are good and healthy, and yet they're actually really harmful to you or destructive. They degenerate your body, and we see this all the time. So that's why we want to educate you, right? So Sally, she gets up every morning and makes breakfast for Bill. We'll just go the old-fashioned way, okay? Don't take me wrong, because Pete actually always makes me breakfast. But let's just go back to the traditional route. So Sally makes Bill breakfast of like cereal, a popular cereal with skim milk, right? And
low fat, no fat.
Exactly. And then, of course, he gets hungry by 10 o'clock, so she packs him morning tea. That can be like a piece of fruit cake or a banana or something like that.
Or a sandwich with margarine.
She thinks that's healthy. And then she packs his lunch, and that will be also like low fat or something or other, with a little bit of salad. And what did I actually write here?
And she dare not clog his arteries up with by eating too much cholesterol with eggs and
that's right. So everything she buys has a tick from the Heart Foundation or a tick from the Diabetes Foundation. So she thinks that's really good. And she'll even put in a little container of fruit yogurt that's low fat. And then at night, and everything is margarine, no butter. And then at night they might have some meat, or a little bit of like whatever, a few vegetables, potatoes.
Lean meat, and if there is any fat, it's cut off, trimmed off, because you don't want that clogging up your arteries.
Because she loves Bill, and she keeps and saves, so she gets rid of all the fat out of the diet, right? And then she will cook like maybe a steamed something with like canola oil, because she thinks canola oil is good.
Use a non-stick fry pan so she doesn't have to use oil.
Or she'll steam it, so she absolutely makes sure no extra fat is entering Bill's body. And then after a while though, the trouble starts, so he actually starts complaining about heartburn. So Sally decides to go to the chemist, and she buys antacids for Bill, right? And then after a while though, Bill actually, he starts to become really lethargic. That's the next thing.
Plus the heartburn, Sally went off and bought over-the-counter antacids for Bill that he popped whenever he got a bit of heartburn, and in those were aluminium. There's lots of aluminium over the counter, like Mylanta and Gaviscon, and aluminium causes all the blood cells in your circulation to all clump together. They lose their charge and causes solids in the solution to clump together, so it makes the blood all sticky and pumps the blood pressure up even higher.
So actually next thing, he has high blood pressure, plus he also can't get it up, so he has erectile dysfunction, which all ties together, because we'll tell you why in a minute, but partly because of the antacids, and then the blood pressure tablets.
Then he becomes a bit depressed because of all this.
All the problems, because he's not a real man anymore, even though Sally assures him he's man enough for her, like it doesn't worry her. It still makes him really depressed, so now he takes antidepressants. You might recognize some of your own stories in this. And then, next thing, the doctor does a regular checkup on him to make sure his blood pressure is good, and to prescribe him all this medication. He realizes his cholesterol is up, so now Bill has to have he has to have cholesterol lowering drugs.
But back when I first started nursing, back in the 80s, the top end of cholesterol was 7.5. and now it's less than 4 they want it.
Yeah.
So
the benchmark has shifted to. Anyway, Pete and I believe
it's one of the most sold drugs, cholesterol-lowering drugs.
Along with Nexium, by the way.
Yeah.
All the drugs we're telling you about are the most sold over-the-counter drugs, and they're causing degeneration, and how they're causing people to get old when they're 40,
Because
right?
If you think about big business, they want to make money. Mm-hmm. So they want sick people. So the drugs they give people don't really make
healthy
for health.
Okay, so this is the story about Sally and Bill. Now, Sally thought she was doing everything right, and so did Bill. He just ate what his wife gave him, and so he ended up being a very sick man with a short lifespan, and not like a car that's falling apart everywhere, right? And they didn't understand where they went wrong. So we had to then actually unpack their diet for starters, and then we had to convince them that the low-fat diet propaganda that only started in the 1970s, so it's only been 50 years, happening for 50 years, but it's killed so many people. That's created an epidemic of Alzheimer, because the next thing, Bill would get Alzheimer because his body, his brain hasn't had proper nutrients, his blood is all sticky.
Fat.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And he just hasn't been alive. So often when people get Alzheimer, it's actually that symbolically that means they're opting out. They've had enough of life, and it's like they're disconnecting now. Life isn't worth living. That's like the spiritual reason behind Alzheimer. So that would be the cause with Bill. So what's wrong with cereal and skim milk? Let's start at the very beginning, because everyone is still eating cereals today.
Cereals are made from grains that are high starch carbohydrate, and a bowl full of cereal will our bodies probably can convert it into 6 to 10 teaspoonfuls of sugar. And that's without you putting sugar on it. And then your skim milk.
And it has no nutrients.
It's got no nutrients at all. You might as well eat the cardboard box that it comes in.
Actually, that's true, because scientists have done experiments with rats, and they gave rats the cardboard or the content that was in the cardboard, and actually they lived both as long. Actually, they both had very short lives, didn't they? So also, sometimes what you see on cereals, it's all the marketing that's, by the way, deceptive. You see rich in iron or something, but actually a lot of the cereals have inorganic iron shavings, which is just terrible. Like, you can actually go in with a magnet and the shavings will stick to it. So that's not helpful for your body either.
Homogenised milk, which most milk is homogenised, all is pasteurised, but most is homogenised. That has the processing of that milk. It produces xanthine oxidase, which is a substance that will cause
inflammation to your body.
Well, it causes hardening of the arteries. It's one of the things that will cause atherosclerosis. And you can see in statistics, when milk was first homogenised, that's when heart disease started to go up, heart attacks.
Because actually it alters the molecule. If you just look at the molecular level of the milk, the molecule is so structurally altered that your body doesn't know what to do with it, and doesn't break down properly, which also causes anemia in children. So homogenized milk is one of the main sources of anemia in children, because the molecules have to be pushed, or they get pushed through the gut wall, and it creates leaky gut or microscopic bleeding on the gut level. So Bill's breakfast with milk or skim milk or homogenized milk and cereal had to be discontinued. They had to stop that straight away. So Bill, when we asked Bill what he wanted to eat, what did he say?
Well,
he wanted to eat eggs and bacon.
He wanted to eat eggs and bacon. That was one of his favourite meals when he grew up. And we said, good, you start that again and eat it every morning of your life. You can't have too many eggs, you can't have too much bacon, you can't have too much fat, because the body is 70% saturated fat. It covers all the nerves. It's the
Your
thing,
brain is grown. Everything is
insulation around the brain, around every nerve fibre is cholesterol and saturated fat.
Actually, your body makes your own cholesterol, so you don't even get cholesterol from what you eat per se. Your liver will make it just itself because your hormones and everything is made from cholesterol, right? It's one of the key building blocks. So Bill was very happy to have eggs and bacon.
Sally was a bit hesitant. She thought we were going to kill him by recommending he have his eggs and bacon.
But the good thing was he wasn't hungry for morning tea, so he was able to skip morning tea, which was really good. That kept his blood sugar steady, and then his heartburn disappeared as well because...
he did need a bit of assistance initially digesting the eggs and bacon, the extra fat, because we turn all the excess sugar into stored fat, and that clogs up the liver often. And so we need a good working liver to digest our fats properly. And so we recommended he start taking beet flow, and for his indigestion, heartburn, he needed a bit more extra hydrochloric acid in the stomach, beta-NaCl, because it's mainly caused, heartburn's mainly caused through not having enough hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Never too much.
Exactly. A lot of people in the world suffer from low stomach acid, like I would say perhaps 90% of people, because any amount of stress stops you from producing hydrochloric acid. So beta-NaCl is a very, very safe, healthy supplement that helps you digest your food and gets you spring back in your life, really. And it's very cheap. 240 capsules for $39, so that will last you for months.
Beet flow gets the bile flow going from the liver, so you can digest your fats properly.
You have to see these two products almost as a detox mechanism as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's like cleans your body, and at the same time it restores your digestion as well as cleaning. So you don't have to go on a detox fast first and then start something else next. It will do it all at the one go. Right, and then so Bill, he also had cramps, of course, like he had cramps all through his body at night because his body lacked minerals, lacked nutrition, and he was dehydrated because, I mean, they didn't drink water, they only drank coffee,
black leaf tea and coffee, yeah.
And so if you have cramps, by the way, that's always a sign of dehydration and low mineral levels, right? So you can immediately relieve your cramps by putting a little bit of Himalayan salt or pink salt on the tongue, followed by a little bit of water.
Or a glass full of water.
But ultimately, you need to supplement with magnesium as well. Like everyone in Australia needs magnesium because our soils are deficient. So we recommended that Bill also ate butter, like Peter himself sometimes has like half a packet of butter a day, right? And then on cream on top of it, and other coconut oil and so many oils. And also we had to tell Bill to leave them the fat on the meat.
Yeah, I say to people, if you eat meat, you choose the cuts with the most fat on, because that's your energy source. And don't trim them off, eat them, because it's, the lean meat has been a big lie as well, to go for lean meat.
So we had a client, and we told Sally this, by the way, because she was very concerned about our suggestions. So one of our clients, do you want to tell it was actually your client, the lady who had really high cholesterol levels?
Well, she had cholesterol levels up around 11 or 12, and the doctor pulled out his prescription book and wrote a prescription for cholesterol lowering drugs, and she scrunched it up and threw it in the bin. She said, no thanks. She went home and did some research herself and took herself off all high starch carbs and sugars and went on vegetables, meats and fats, low starch carbohydrates. And 6 months later she went back, had a blood tested, and the doctor called her back in and said, your cholesterol's a bit high. and she asked what it was, and it was 6. So it had dropped 5 or 6 points in 6 months just by going off high starch carbs and sugars.
Well, actually, she stopped eating bread, pasta, pizza, rice, potatoes, all those kind of things, biscuits.
Yeah, and all the cereals, and we supply people with a food list, so you've got the food list of
all the things
that are good to eat, and then there's a red page where you have to go take it to your cupboard and start turfing things out a bit.
Yeah, red means, the light is on red, so if you cross the road while the lamps are on red, you run into danger, don't you? An accident waiting to happen. So, and green means it's safe to go. So our client whose cholesterol levels dropped down to 6, she was really, really happy, and I want you to know that 6 is a very healthy, 6 or 7. That's great, because if your cholesterol drops down to 4, I'll read this out to you, by the way. If it's less than 4, it's associated with a 200% increase in stroke, 300% increase in liver cancer, 200% increase in lung cancer or lung disease, 200% increase in depression, 200% increase in addictive behaviors or addictions, because actually your body doesn't feel good. Because cholesterol is important, because you are basically a mountain of cholesterol. That's all that it boils down to. 60% almost.
All your hormone system is,
including your happy hormones,
basically made from cholesterol.
Anyway, so we've included the article, so you can make yourself a cup of tea or a glass of water and sit down and read the entire article. And share it with your loved ones as well, because this is like something that everyone feels confused about, because we learned this at school, we learned it at primary school, high school, our parents got it all wrong. We basically have to go back to our grandparents, the great-grandparents generation, to see how they ate, and they only had they didn't have heart disease, right? Hardly. I think it was maybe 1 in 200 people, something that used to get a heart attack, or it was virtually unheard of.
And all the diseases, cancers, heart disease, everything, they're still going up, they're skyrocketing.
Yeah, so the science isn't working.
No, we've been told a lot of lies.
Yeah.
And what we've been told has been causing the epidemics of disease. So we have to turn things on their head a little bit.
And you can do it easily, so it's not complicated, right? So we can show you the path. And if you need more help, please do book in for a session with Peter in particular, because we look at the biochemistry. Yeah,
I can do a full health, and what we call a full health analysis, and look at the biochemistry and the live and dry blood, and it will explain a lot to you why you're feeling.
It shows up if you have parasites or candida, leaky gut, if your liver is working, or your kidneys, or which part of your body is your weak spot, which is just really great to know.
Why you don't sleep well.
Because you do, of course, want to support your weakest link, right? Because if you think of a chain, it will always break unexpectedly, because you didn't know you had a weak link, and you see that all the time. Like suddenly somebody isn't well, somebody has a heart attack, or something breaks down.
But it's taken quite a few years of inflammation for that, and to that point in time when the weak link cracks.
Also, it doesn't take long for your weak link to become very strong, and that's what I want you to know.
No, it doesn't take long to reverse things.
Because actually, just think about it, you have new eyeballs, like 2 sets of eyes, 2 new eyeballs every 48 hours. That's crazy, isn't it? And if you don't believe me, well, just think of your nails. They keep growing, and when you cut yourself, it stops bleeding within minutes, and then it's probably healed by tomorrow, and everything about your body is geared towards regeneration, and your body wants to grow a new, better body all day long. So all the damage we do can be completely reversed very quickly. That's what we find exciting. And we've actually worked with 20,000 clients or more, since the year 2000. So we've pretty much seen it all, I would say.
So you have to think of cholesterol and saturated fats as your friend, not as your enemy. And eat a lot of them and assist your body to digest them properly with the things we've recommended.
So we put together a package, I'll finish with that, which we often talk about. It's called the Ultimate Vitality Boost, right? And it's got 4 ingredients, and they're all 4 probably equally important. So iodine, you start your day off with some iodine in the morning, iodine drops. You have beet flour with every meal to detox your liver.
3 times a day.
And to support your metabolism. Then it contains immunosymbiotic restore, which heals and seals your gut, like so your microbiome gets supported, and even that on its own people improve tremendously. And then of course it's got Omnizyme, which Omni means every enzyme under the sun is found in Omnizyme.
And that helps digest, break down every type of food you eat, so you get the nutrients from it.
Also helps to break down toxins and clear your lymphatic system. So if you have trouble with fluid retention and all that, you need enzymes. That's what we found with our clients.
Foods that we eat are devoid of enzymes. And our pancreases are often stressed and stimulated too much if we eat too often. And keeping a good healthy pancreas by assisting it with extra enzymes is
super important.
It is important. It protects against cancer as well. So this is what we find helpful, and it just gave you a short version of like how things start to go wrong by the wrong daily habits and routines that you can change right quickly over time. Well, not too much time of course, but you start to feel better often within a week. Like your brain fog clears up, your skin starts to glow, your hair comes back, and you'll lose weight.
People say, what are you doing? I want to be on what you're taking, and that's what we hear all the time. So, I mean, we are here to support you in every area of your life, especially your health, of course, because if you lose your health, you lose everything. And when you feel healthy, you can take on the world. So, let us know what you think, if you're confused or if you have questions. Confusion is good, by the way, because like confusion means you're halfway between letting go of old stuff that doesn't serve you and you're about to embrace something new that is going to really make your life amazing. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate you being in our community, and hope you have a great week, and we look forward to being with you again next week. And just remember as well that Pete and I have put on an event in our forest. We have music and
we've opened the mazes again.
Music and a feast in the forest Sunday the 26th of March. And also we're thinking of opening the sauna. So we've got a wood-fired sauna in the forest that you can use, and then you can go for a cold dip or a cold shower. Cold
dip in a bath or a cold shower or a dip in the river.
To make you feel amazing.
And then come and have some nice warm
some food afterwards. It's going to be a super amazing event. So you would have received an invitation yesterday in the email if you're on our list, or go check out the Purple House posts and you'll see it there. But we actually hadn't mentioned the sauna, so this is a thing that we're adding on, and I'll let you know tomorrow.
We've made it a ticketed event this time because
just so we can gauge
how many people were coming, so we won't be inundated like last time with not enough preparation for food for you.
We had awesome time though. So thank you everyone, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Okay,
bye.